my dude?
The Silver Fox. I love it. How's it going?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still, I think I'm just emotionally exhausted like we were left in the last game. And I'm happy we won 5-2, but my goodness, like what a roller coaster ride even this game was, eh?
Yes, very much so. But yeah, to get some great offensive help from one Derek Forbert again late in the second was probably a huge relief going into the third period. That's a big win for those boys to close within 3 of St. Louis now, because St. Louis had pulled 5 ahead of us. So we needed that game to keep our glimmer of playoff hopes alive.
I think I saw the stats. If they lost today in regulation, their chances of making the playoffs dropped to like 8% or something like that. By winning it, I think it stays up around the 22, 23. So the odds are still not in our favor. All they can do is win, win, win.
Yep. They just have to keep working hard. And Bluger scoring a minute into the third period was huge as well. Just really solid team effort. The guys who need to step up in lieu of the Pettersson and Höglander injuries are really doing a great job. Atu Ratu really starting to look like an NHL player. He looks like he's finally turning that corner. Pius Suter with another strong game, filling in as a first line center. Another two assists. So another 2-point night. Kiefer Sherwood, who you were asking about last post game, with 2 goals and an assist tonight.
He must have been
also
watching.
4 shots on goal, 4 hits, and 1 block shot. So a hell of a game from Kiefer Sherwood. I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up first star. And then Demko with some massive saves.
I think Demko's the only one that might be able to take him out, because there was a time in that game where without Demko on the ice making those crazy split saves, then it would have been well out of the Canucks' ability to come back if Demko didn't make all those early saves.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, Demko definitely deserves to be in the stars, like, somewhere.
Okay, let's do it right now then, because they've already posted them. If you were to do your official Dustin Boydell stamp of approval on a 3 stars, who you're putting in there? So Demko and Sherwood.
I'd go first star Kiefer Sherwood. I'd go second star Thatcher Demko, and I'd probably give Casey Cikas a 3rd star, because he did have 2 points tonight, goal and assist. And then he was buzzing all over the ice all game. So he definitely caught my attention from the Islanders side.
Well, let's see if the people agree with you. And yes, in fact, they do. Except for they had Cikas as a 2nd star, but either way, you got all 3 players, right? Kiefer Sherwood with the with the 1st star with the 2 goals and assists. Cikas the goal and an assist for 2 points, and then Demko 2 goals against and the .929 save percentage. So it's great to see that. Man, 2 games in a row.
Those up pretty quick for an away game.
Yeah. 7:16, and the game started at 4:30, so that was a quick moving game in general.
I had a feeling it was going to be. New York doesn't like to cover the puck much. They like to keep the game flowing. And after the first period there, where the refs kind of seemed to have their whistles a bit in their pockets and weren't going to call much, it seemed like it was going to go by pretty fast.
Yeah. What did you think about the Canucks being a -1 on the power play today?
That was a tough pass by Quinn Hughes there to Lecker-Mackey. Like, what a tough spot to put that kid in. And of course it comes back 2-on-1. We said it in intermission. He's shit at playing those 2-on-1s. I don't know why he can't get through his head to just take the pass away. Let the goalie have the shot. That's like 2-on-1 101. He's so elite, but odd man rushes, just whatever reason the brain kind of malfunctions.
All of a sudden,
maybe he tries to do too much. I think he's so hungry to get the puck back. I think that's what is constantly his focus, and that maybe tends to leave the back door open on odd man rushes more often because he's too aggressive on the puck.
Did you see the plus minus on Tyler Myers tonight?
I did
+4,
not.
bro. He's a +4. He was on the ice for 4 goals, 4. Isn't that wild?
Look, the unsung hero, one Tyler Myers. Look at that.
He played 22:39 tonight. He was actually this third highest minutes on the defense behind, obviously, Hughes and Hronek. But it was actually interesting for the first time in a long time. Hronek actually had more time on the ice than Quinn Hughes, probably as a result of there being only 1 power play and 2 penalty kills, because obviously Quinn Hughes doesn't play on the penalty kill. But I mean, I'm glad to see that, because obviously I feel like they've been playing Quinn Hughes probably too much lately. But yeah, I mean, nice to see Quinn Hughes not being the top minute guy, but also in a 5-2 victory, Quinn Hughes comes out as a -1. So that's kind of a hard look for him. Those minutes might be getting to him. What do you think?
Oh, he had to have been exhausted after last game. So it's good that he only had to play 23 minutes tonight and didn't have to play hard minutes. So hopefully he can get a little more rest here going into Columbus. I think they get an hour back of time zone. So they'll maybe get a little extra rest tonight. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he's feeling next game. But he definitely made some uncharacteristic mistakes. I don't expect he'll have 2 games in a row like that. We don't typically see that from Quinn. He's his own worst critic. He will do what he needs to do to feel better and ready to go against the Blue Jackets.
Marcus Pettersson with a beautiful pass tonight, setting up the goal. I felt like there was maybe, like we talked about maybe a week and a half ago, about maybe he has that kind of like he's on the team now and the adrenaline's run out. So it looked like he was having a bit of a rough time, but seemed really, really solid tonight. He was a +3 and he had an assist on the goal. So are you feeling pretty good about Marcus Pettersson's game playing with Tyler Myers again?
Yeah, I think they're starting to get a natural chemistry. When you first come over, there's a lot you gotta try and communicate with guys you don't know, and you don't know their tendencies, and now I think it's around that like 20 game mark where you would kind of give that buffer at the beginning of the year for guys to get chemistry and mesh. That's sort of where he's at now with after that trade. So it's good to see that he's starting to feel more comfortable and is able to make those setup plays and find some way to contribute offensively, because Myers has been solid defensively. And it's funny because, those 2 guys are typically you're going to want both to be defensive, but if you can suck some offensive upside out of Pettersson's game, then why not?
Going back to the faceoff too, because the Islanders had managed to come back a little bit in the faceoff dot. So I wanted to bring up Suter ended up just below 50% at 47%. Bluger ended up about 54%. Ratu ended up 50%, and Niels Aman didn't get 100% tonight. He came in at 42%. So obviously the Islanders addressed that during the intermission, and looks like they started to come back there in the third period to win some of those big faceoffs. But interesting to see too, Bo Horvat was only at 50%, which you expect him to be a bit higher than that. But at the end of the day, a couple guys on the Islanders like Pajot ended up coming in and winning 82% of his faceoff draws. So he's probably the one who came out and turned things around, regardless of the fact that usually it's Bo Horvat to do that kind of a thing.
Yeah, and oh, what a shot he took in the beak, man. I felt that one through the TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you hate to see that kind of thing. And it wasn't deflected,
for coming back and being out there at the end of the game to try and help push to tie it up. But my God, he's gonna be swollen tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't deflect or anything. That was just a straight shot right to the face. He must have hooked it or something like that. Pettersson did.
Yeah, that one got away from him. Probably maybe on the toe and rolled up or something, and just wham.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Quinn Hughes does get his 52nd assist of the season, so still motoring along on that. Kiefer Sherwood getting his 16th and 17th, so it is possible that he ends up hitting the 20 goal mark. Going back to talk about Sherwood, I was a little worried about him, but I guess, like we said, he was listening and has turned things around. How big would that be for like a guy like Sherwood, who this is only his second full season playing in the NHL? He's been bouncing. Before that, he was bouncing back and forth between the A and the NHL. Does that kind of solidify his presence as an NHL player moving forward?
Well, absolutely. Anytime you hit that 20 goal mark, like Talkett said earlier when Suter hit that mark, that's the cha-ching goal, right? So that's where that's the benchmark for crossing that line from a depth forward to a scoring forward. When you can get 20 goals in the modern NHL, that makes you an offensive threat. And with all the other tools he possesses, that's what is the lucky upside to Kiefer Sherwood. You signed him for his physical play and being an energy guy. And now that he's given a position to flourish a little more offensively, he's showing what he can do. And it's great that we're getting him at what seems to be the peak of his career.
Yeah, sets the league record for hits in a season and now might hit 20 goals at the same time. That's probably something that you wouldn't expect from the guy who gets the hit. And that's the other crazy part that me and you haven't talked about. But the fact of the matter is usually the hit leader for the season is a defenseman, not a forward. So Kiefer Sherwood doing that is even more impressive than previously thought.
Well, and not the biggest guy out on the ice either. I mean, he's only 6 feet tall and listed at 194 pounds. Like, it's not like he's 6'5" bruiser that goes out there and runs around and smacks everybody that moves. Yeah, he does that, but man, for him to do it at his size and utilize his speed the way he does, he's a once in a lifetime kind of player that you love to have on your team, and you'd hate. I mean, Quinn Hughes was a big part of him coming here. He went to management and said he was the worst player, one of the worst players he's ever played against when they played against Nashville in the playoffs. And when he became a free agent, he said, "Bring him here." And sure enough, he's here, and we're absolutely adoring him as fans. And what's not to love? The effort he brings every game is what you want to see.
For a team like the Islanders to lose one like that kind of feels pretty much how I think we'd feel if we had lost that game. That's got to be a big shot to the, especially after the way, like we talked about with the disallowed goal in the last one. That's got to hurt the Islanders' hearts a little bit there. It's not that they're gonna probably get past because everyone behind them has more games played or a lot fewer points. But it does seem like that, with only now they have what is it 9-10 games left, 10-11 games left. It's going to get harder and harder, especially with a team like Montreal that's been playing so well lately.
Definitely. Yep. They're 1 point back with 10 games left. 10 games left after that one.
Yeah, and it looks like they have updated the standings, so I'll bring that up too because it's always just nice to see. The Canucks have once again moved ahead of the Calgary Flames by 1 point. Now, however, the Canucks have played 2 more games, so it's the situation that the Canucks are in now is it's no longer about them just winning. They also have to scoreboard watch and hope that other teams lose. That could change as the season comes to a close, but as of right now, we're still looking for help from other teams. That's got to hurt the ego of these Canuck players, waiting on other players to win games for them.
Well, you can let it hurt you or you can let it motivate you. So hopefully they let it motivate them to continue winning and giving the efforts they've been given the last, since the Winnipeg game. The loss to the New York Rangers was a tough one because they really dominated that game and should have, for all intents and purposes, been the winners on that Saturday morning. But this stretch of hockey that they put together, especially missing 2 key forwards that were really starting to find their stride offensively and click, it can be motivating. having people chasing you, and especially knowing in the back of your mind that Calgary has that extra game that's going to be played well after everyone else is done. So they hold that wild card basically in their grasp. The Canucks are going to be, everyone's going to be scoreboard watching until that final game between LA and Calgary is played to make up for the Los Angeles Fires.
It's fun too that the Canucks beat the Islanders 5-2 in Long Island after the Islanders had beaten the Vancouver Canucks 5-2 in Vancouver. So we got our perfect revenge tonight.
Retribution, you gotta love it.
Oh man. All right, so the Canucks have a game coming up on Friday against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we enter the exact same situation that we've been. It's going to be the biggest game of the year against the Columbus Blue Jackets, another team that is currently battling for a playoff spot. What are you expecting to see against a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are also desperate for points?
Oh, they're young and fast. They can score off the rush very quickly. Guys like Adam Fantilli, what's that young Russian player, Marchenko?
Yeah.
They got some real talented guys there, and they're also, let's not forget the huge loss that they suffered in the off season before they came into the year and came into training camp, losing Johnny Gaudreau, and they've kind of been inspired all season to work really hard and push, and you'd love to see them get in, just kind of as a team of a Cinderella story type team. The way they play hockey and the season that Zach Werenski has had, I mean, he's arguably the third Norris finalist between Quinn Hughes, Makar, and Werenski. So a lot of tools at their disposal, and also they have a young goalie who's also quite elite in Elvis Merzlikins. So after the adversity they faced early in the season, they've really found their game as of late, and I would expect them to bring everything they got against us on Friday.
Yeah, Columbus sitting at 70 games played, 73 points. They're 2 points behind Montreal. But if they do win their next game, they can move past both New York teams, which is the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers. So thanks to the loss tonight to the Islanders, we're actually helping out Columbus a little bit. So maybe they can help us out and just give us the 2 points, and we'll give them the 1 point. That should be good enough, I think. If Midnight Solar's watching right now,
there you go. We'll beat them in overtime.
Yeah, fair enough. He already agreed to it, so knock on wood. Oh, perfect. My goodness. And then we also got the Abbey Canucks are going to be coming up this weekend too. They are playing a back-to-back as well.
Yes, a very important series in San Jose.
Yeah.
Very important series in San Jose against the Barracuda. The Barracuda are just 1 point behind the Abbotsford Canucks in the standings. The Canucks are sitting in third place. The Barracuda are sitting in fifth place. So this could have some huge bearing on those playoff standings. Also, the Canucks are riding their 7-game winning streak, so they will hope to keep that going Friday night at 7:30 in San Jose, and then they will go again Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m.
Which is a very tight turnaround.
Yes. Also of note, Abbotsford Canucks signing prospect Jackson Coons. We're going to go with Coons.
Yep.
To a AHL contract for the remainder of the season, and he will be invited to a professional tryout next year. His year finishing up at the University of North Dakota. They were not successful in their playoff bid to make it to the Final Four, so his season is done. So he will join the Abbotsford Canucks for the rest of the season in their playoff push here.
I didn't tell you this story earlier, but when I was doing my college for radio, we ran a Evolution 1079, which is an FM station. We were an alternative rock station, and I was doing the news. That was my job for the day. And I stuttered on the word county because I kept on reading it as country, but I stopped myself a few times. So I'll let you guys figure out what I said there live on to not just like this wasn't just like going to the other students. This was being broadcast into BC. So I got in a little bit of trouble for that one.
That's a tough stutter to brain fart on. Yeah, that's a rough go.
Yeah. And my friends were actually driving out to meet me after the shift too. So they were actually listening on the way and they're like, bro, did you say what I think you said? I'm like, no. I just stuttered.
Do you have the picture of the player? Do you want to bring it up for chat to see so they know what we're talking about?
Yeah. What's his name again?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Kunz.
There you go. I'll bring it up for everyone so they can see it. Try and say that 10 times fast.
So Russ and I are unsure of the correct pronunciation of this young man's surname, but we're gonna go with Kunz.
Yeah.
Just for our own safety of not being canceled.
Well, it looks like Midnight Solar is here, and he says, I don't have hope. Nothing is perfect, but we need the 2 points more, though. Come on, Midnight Solar, don't go back. We already talked about this. You said you'd give us the 2 points if we gave you the 1. Dustin, you going to be good to go for the first intermission on Friday?
I will be here Friday afternoon, yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Is there anything you want to say to chat before I let you go?
Oh, thank you as always for hanging out. Love reading your comments. I missed some stuff in the first intermission there when we were talking. I saw something about my hat and needing to take it off, and I don't know what they were talking about, but love to see you guys having fun and appreciate being a part of the show and the stream and are always happy when the Canucks get a big win, and we will see you next game.
Thanks for stopping by, brother. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Sounds good. Have a great night.
Nothing is perfect.